Welcome to this painting tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how I painted this Saim-Hann Eldar. Seeing that Eldar are very popular these days, I wanted to try it out, and this is a very simple color scheme, very easy to do. That's why I managed to fit it all in just one part. But overall it was very fun to paint and very quick. Hope this video helps you out, and if it does, please leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to start with the primed gray miniature, and I'm going to use rust-oleum automotive primer, and yeah, just give it a good coat and let it dry, and we're going to start using a base coat of Mephiston red. This is going to go all over the armor of the miniature. Just try to leave the helmet alone, and the base coat should be thinned down at least 1:1, 1 part water and 1 part paint. You can use even more, but that's usually enough to give a nice thin coat. Just go all around the miniature, trying to not move the paint a lot. Don't leave any sort of bubbles or paint crumbs, or move the paint while it's drying, because you're going to create paint strokes. Next I'm going to use black. I'm using the model color from Vallejo, and with this I'm going to paint the gun and all of the details that you want black. Saim-Hann are known for their black and red colors, and I think it looks pretty nice. Just make sure, as well as the red color, this and all of the base coats should be thinned down at least 1:1 and applied the same way. For most of these steps I'm using a size 2 brush, a Kolinsky size 2. This would be the equivalent of a base coat brush, but you can use a standard brush if you're having trouble with it. And next I'm using Celestra gray to base coat the helmet. On the brightest colors is especially important to thin down the paint as much as the other ones, but be very careful not to move the paint a lot once it's set on the model, because you will create a weird texture and crumbs of paint and all that sort of thing, and we want to avoid that. Next I'm using the Leadbelcher color. This is just going to be painted on very few details on the gun and around the model, but mainly we want the details on the armor to be black and not silver, so I'm just going to use it on very few details here and there. I'm still using the same way of painting with the other base coats. Next comes the washes. I'm going to use Baal red wash. You can use carroburg crimson as well. Just mop it on the whole armor of the miniature. Try to avoid the white parts and the silver parts. This is the easiest step and the most fun, in my opinion. Just try to mop it in all of the crevices, and yeah, after this step the model almost looks complete, as the tabletop is looking pretty good, but I'm going to take it, do more stuff to it to make it look even better. I'm going to use Nuln oil on the helmet, although I'm going to try to spread it out a lot so it doesn't look as black. You can also thin it down, but I don't usually thin down my washes, I just apply them from the pot. But if you want to thin it down for the white, that'll be a good idea, in my opinion. The same step as before, just applying it on all of the silver and the white. Once it's dry, I'm going to use Mephiston red and Ulthuan scarlet. I'm going to mix them 1:1 and thin them with water. I usually use one part, one paint and the other, and try to apply the same quantity of water. In this tutorial I didn't bother on using any sort of medium, just applied this paint all over the places where light hits on the upper parts, and it's just basically a cleanup. I'm not going to use many other highlights on red. I'm just going to clean them up. I want this miniature to have a very uniform color and not work very much on a very complicated transition of reds, because I don't want the armor to look glowing like other miniatures. I just want it to look a very nice flat red. And here I'm applying a second coat in the places that they didn't pick up with the first layer, because my paint was a little bit thin, and that's okay. If you work with thin paints, it's most of the time better for the miniature, because you're not taking away from the textures of the model, and it makes smoother transitions. So just apply layers on red until you feel happy with the result. And we're trying to avoid the miniature looking orange. That's why we didn't went with another highlight. I'm just going to use this etch highlight with Wild Rider Red as the next step. Here you can see I changed to a detail brush, and I'm trying to pick all of the edges of the model with it. Try to thin down the paint a little bit so that you can make it flow easily on the edges. Try to use the edge of the brush on all of the areas that you can. Try to work with the brush, and don't try to freehand the edges. Just use the edge of the brush, and that's it. This is how the miniature looks after we finish the last step. Next, I'm going to use Ulthuan Gray on the helmet. Again, thin it down with water and apply it all over the paints. It's just this step is like a cleanup. We only want to leave the very deep recesses on the previous color, on the Celestra Gray with black wash. And we're going to paint all of the places that we can reach with the brush with this color, leaving the edges and deep recesses on the previous color. That means around the little balls on the sides of the helmet. And next I'm going to use White Scar as a final highlight, and this I'm going to try to concentrate on the upper parts of the helmet, and the edges are around the face of the model. It's almost all of it, but not quite, and that's a very nice looking white in my opinion. Next I'm going to highlight the silvers with Iron Breaker. This is a very easy step. I'm still using a size 2 brush, or the equivalent of base coat brush, or you could use the standard brush also. Next step, I'm going to use Eshin Gray, and I'm going to edge highlight all of the black parts. You can use this color to highlight all other places that you would decide to paint black on the model. This is a very kind of time-consuming step. You may want to just ignore this step, but blacks pop out a lot and look very nice if you try and do this step, even though it's a little bit annoying, you can say. to just etch highlight all of the edges of your models, but this is the way I like to paint, and I think it looks pretty good. Next, I'm going to use downstone, and with this color I'm going to edge highlight again the black, but just on the sharpest edges. This highlight is gonna make the edges really stand out and define the edges of the black parts. I think it looks pretty good, and if you like it, you can use it as well. Once that's done, I'm going to paint the eyes and all of the gemstones with Caledor Sky. Just try to pick a few of them, and you can base coat them with this color. Some pictures show the same hand with green instead of blue. I just didn't want to go the obvious route and contrast red with green, because I like to change stuff a bit, and I used blue. Next, I'm using Teclis blue, and I'm coloring the lower parts of the gemstones towards the ground and about half of the front of the lenses. Next, I'm going to use Lothern blue, and this is like the extreme highlight. I'm just going to use it as minimal area on the bottom of the gemstones and the very front part of each of the lenses. Next, to give a little reflection of light, I'm going to use white scar, and I'm going to paint it on the top parts of the gemstones. And this pretty much sums up my tutorial. This is the end result, and you can do a bunch of stuff to make it look different, but to my opinion, this is the way to go. This is a very nice looking model with very nice red color, not going to orange, and keeping it simple to paint a lot of them. And overall, very easy to paint and very fun. The white color and the black really contrast the red very nicely, and I think it's an awesome color scheme for Eldar. But let me know what you think. Leave a comment if you have any questions or any comments about the miniature. And I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please like the video, comment on it, and subscribe to my channel to see more tutorials. This really helps me out. And remember that you can find me on Facebook if you would like to talk to me and ask me a question or just say hello. The link is on the description below. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.